our water utility, is called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved in local water issues by getting to know their water. And whereas the state of Florida, the Water Management District, and the City of Cocoa work together to increase awareness about the importance of water conservation and other water-related issues. And whereas every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, dedicated men and women make significant contributions in developing, operating, and maintaining these water systems. Now, therefore, be it resolved that by virtue of the authority vested in our mayor, do hereby proclaim May 7th through 13th, 2017 as Drinking Water Week.
Don, thank you.
As part of Drinking Water Week, we participated in a poster contest. It's called the Drop Savers Poster Contest. It's sponsored by the Florida section of the American Water Works Association. We sent out notices to every school in our service area between Titusville and Melbourne. Of those schools, 3 schools chose to participate. They were Quest Elementary School in Viera, Suntree Elementary School, and Ronald McNair Middle School. The poster contest allows participants to have fun, and at the same time, it promotes the importance of water conservation in their homes. Each participant had to submit an entry on a letter-sized paper showing a slogan and a drawing or a combination that showed the importance of conservation. The contest was divided into the following divisions: kindergarten through 1st grade, 2nd through 3rd grade, 4th through 5th grade, 6th through 8th grade, and 9th through 12th grade. The posters were judged based on the conservation theme as well as the artistic ability. I invited all of the winners. I had to choose a winner in each category. I invited all of the winners to attend. I think we have one. Is there another? Okay, I have two participants here. I'm going to read you the names, and then we're going to present them with a certificate and a Walmart gift card for $15. In the kindergarten category, we have Maya Filosa. And this is her right here. If you look at this picture, turn around so they can see it here.
Oh, how nice.
Does it look just like her?
Yeah. Very
Can
good.
I get a picture with the mayor?
Yeah. I don't have a camera.
He's good.
He does.
Okay.
Cute.
If you'll hold that up. Stay right here.
What about my hair?
Our second winner was Elenia Dion from Quest Elementary School, and she's here. There are art teachers here too from Quest, and I'd like to thank her for participating. She sent me, I think, hundreds of posters. It was great looking at them all.
Thank you.
The next student is Izzy Peterson, a 5th grade student from Suntree Elementary. And I don't think they made it. And finally, we had a student from McNair Middle School, Charlie Figueroa, 7th grade student from McNair Middle School. And I'll just hold their posters up so you can see them, and then I'll get their certificates to them. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack, Don, I just want to say a few words about the water system. The city has reinvested in it several years ago, and Jack he's the architect of the rebuild of the water system, and the city spent probably about 100 million, 120 million.
About 70 million maybe to date,
How much?
70 to date.
Oh, 70 today, okay. I thought it was more than that. I think we were scheduled, okay. But it's a big investment, and we have great water. Every time I go to Viera, I remind the county commission they have great water there. You know, but we're very lucky. We live in a great area, has a lot of water, and our capacity is big, and we really appreciate the job that Jack's done over the years. He's helped to revamp it, and it's one of the few, taps you'll drink water right out of the tap. And if you live somewhere else, it's not that good. Somewhere else usually, but our water's it's got a lot of minerals in it, and and Jack's done a great job with the system. So thank you, Jack. So we're going to move on to Kathy, Sister City presentation. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good,
Gotta
we're good.
Find my here. Right there. Okay. Mayor, council members, thank you for allowing us to make a quick presentation tonight. You know us as Sister City program, and I've talked to you a number of times, but I've never talked to you about one part of our program that's very special that I want to highlight. That's called our Gifts of Love program. Every week we have a number of women who get together, 10, 15 or so, who make quilts. They meet over there in the Civic Center. And they take the quilts that they make, and there they are working right there. They take these quilts and they donate them to people in need, both in our sister city and here in the great city of Cocoa. We have taken quilts over to Israel. Every single time we send an ambassador tour over there, they shrink wrap them, and so we can put 2 or 3 quilts in each one of our suitcases, so we can get a lot over there with 30 people going each time. So this is some of our friends in Israel. And some of the places that we've donated quilts over in Israel, generally, and oftentimes we do give to the elderly. We made these nice book bags. The ladies made the nice book bags, gave them out at a school in our sister city. And so there's the kids with their book bags. That was an earlier version of the Sister City logo. Since then, we've changed it. Locally, we donate to the Westminster community of Florida, to the Salvation Army Domestic Violence Prevention, Domestic Violence Program, Senior Care of Brevard, and others. These ladies have been very busy making over 400 quilts, 350 walker bags, and other types of items. So we have some pictures of some of the people who've received. This is all local gifts that we've given out. So these are our ladies, and I'd like, we have a few representations of these quilts. I'd like for you to move quickly forward with some of our quilts, some of the talented, so you can show everybody what they've been doing. Like I said, they meet every week, and they make those and show our audience.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And there's a walker bag, too. We've given out many, many walker bags also. And then if I can ask the leader of this talented group, Marilyn Marin, to come forward, because we have a special presentation to make to the city. She'd like to say a couple words, then Mayor, we'd like to make a presentation to you, please. Okay?
did you want me to come down?
Good evening,
Good
Good.
evening.
and the Gifts of Love have had the privilege through the Sister City program to work on behalf of both countries, Israel and the United States. We are grateful and appreciative that we can use a facility that is staffed with warm and friendly people who respect us and always welcome us with a great smile. So we're happy to be there at the Civic Center. We wish to thank the council for their support. Thank you so much, because without you guys, I don't know, we wouldn't be able to do this. So we're very appreciative. And as you can see, we get a lot of work done. And I want to mention that recently I just received a note from a lady from Rockledge, and I'd like to read it to you. She says, "To the Gifts of Love quilters, I wanted to thank you all for your hard and beautiful work on the quilt that was made, that I received today, and brought no more joy and comfort to me. I deeply appreciate it again. Thank you for your thoughts. Love, Joanne."
That's nice.
So we also have many other areas that when we see a need, we kind of work that in between other projects. So, and if you people hear of anyone, you know, sometimes there's somebody that has cancer or something is going on, and you say, gee, we should let the girls know. So we'd appreciate that if you do that for us. And tonight, I would like to present to you as a gift for all you've done for us. And so,
Very nice.
We're hoping you'll find a nice place.
Very nice. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you. Beautiful.
And I want to thank all of you.
Yes. Thank you.
You want one? Need one? I was afraid I'll ask. That's good. Okay. Cat Med?
No, I can walk up without it.
Cat, how you doing?
All right, drinking that cocoa water, that's why I'm this age.
That's the premium.
That's true.
Cocoa premium.
Captain, I'll just make it very brief. CapMed has done a lot for Cocoa, and he's received every award, I think, keys and everything else over the years. I just want to acknowledge CapMed Day in a couple of days. It's your birthday, right? How old are you gonna be?
92.
92? Man, you're young. And we're gonna do this every year. So in a couple of days, you'll see a lot of things going on, a lot of Facebook posts. I got some older pictures of Captain dancing, and I'm gonna put them up here. But I just want to thank you, Captain, for serving on the RDA board and all the things you've done over the years. We've had a lot of laughs, right? And I think the funniest thing was when I got invited to the Playhouse to do the paint. And I painted the water tower a few years ago. It was kind of a setup where Rockledge was gonna outbid my painting and for their mayor. And the captain came in and bought the painting and outbid everybody, and we put it up in the city manager's office. But he got me out of the suit. But the captain's always been there for the city, and he's done the right things, and he cares about the city. And we just want to keep this going. But happy Cap Med Day. All right.
I just, I hate to give you this one story, but I was attacked way back, and they were beating the heck out of me, and somebody came from nowhere and beat the heck out of them and made them run away, and it was my good friend, the mayor here. He saved me while I was down. He saved me from these hoodlums. I don't know why. I was a nice guy like I am today. I was nice then, too. Interesting thing, I moved to Cocoa in 1985. I was still captain of the Range Sentinel down in the port. I captained 2 of the ships down there, and as most of you know, I went to sea for 56 years, and I was with the government for 40 and the Merchant Marine for 16, and enjoyed every moment, traveled around the world. And Bashamish was not much in 1946 when I was the first time there. It was sort of a wilderness back in those days. And but I've been back, was back many times and watched it grow, and so on and so forth. And another interesting thing, when I was 3 years old, my nickname was Coco. And yeah, I don't know why. And then they named the city after me, and that's really, what are you laughing at? I'm not telling you.
Isn't he beautiful?
You know it.
Yes, he is.
Uh-oh.
We can do that.
I used to dance up here too, remember that? Hey, guys. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Okay. I guess in a Rotary meeting, we'd be fining him or something, right, for his...
We'll get it next week.
Right, there you go. Great, that's great, thank you. Okay, we're gonna go to delegations, and we have about 5 cards. Randy Foster? Yeah, that's good. How you doing?
Doing great.
Good. Name and address for the record.
My name is Randy Foster. I live in Palm Bay, 1837 Palm Place Drive. And first time here at your council meeting. Nice room. I came up here to address an issue that is very important to me and citizens around the country, and also in Brevard County. My name is Randy Foster. I have 25 years in law enforcement. I served as a police officer in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Also served as a U.S. Marshal throughout the United States, D.C., New Orleans, Texas, to name a few. I'm here to talk about a police review board. That's very important in law enforcement and also in civilian. We have police misconduct throughout this country. What I'm concerned about is misconduct in Brevard County. The police review board doesn't affect the sheriff department because the sheriff is a constitutional officer. But it can affect the city government. My business, I'm a law enforcement consultant, and I deal with police misconduct, civil rights issues with attorneys throughout the country and here in Brevard County. And I urge you to move on this item. Not saying that your police department is bad, not saying that your chief is not doing a good job. I'm not here to bash any law enforcement because that's my, I retired law enforcement. But every profession has bad apple, even in politicians, even in medical profession or any profession that's out there. So one problem we have, and I'm going to cut it short here, is that police cannot investigate themselves. It's really sad. There's a blue line there. And citizens across this country and in this county that I've talked to has been victim of police misconduct, okay? What we don't want to have, and what I don't want to see, the city of Cocoa or the city of Palm Bay or any city or any county have an incident where they're being sued for millions of dollars for a bad officer doing a bad thing. We cannot law enforcement cannot investigate themselves. FDLE, trust me, they do an investigation. The state attorney can look at it and say, oh no, that didn't happen, or we're not going to prosecute. So to prevent the city from being sued, if a bad officer assaults someone or shoots someone, citizens would like to take their complaint to someone. And coming to the city council, to me, is not a proper venue. If you have a board, they could work along with your police department and then move forward on this item. So I recommend that y'all move forward on this city police review board. You have any questions?
Matt, you want to say?
Mr. Foster, just want to, you may know in the past, Mr. Dennis, who's out in the audience, he's
Yep.
come before us, previously presented the idea, and it is something we have looked at, we're looking at. We had committed at that time to early and midsummer
Right.
to really focusing and developing a program. Something that we have going on right now is we have I guess you could say, an outside evaluator of our police department coming in, looking at those best practices that would, invite community participation and build that trust in the community.
Right.
And we expect to get those preliminary results fairly soon, and working from those to develop that program.
Yeah, and I applaud you guys because I think, from my knowledge, it's the first city that's looking to do that. But I deal with a lot of misconduct here in Brevard County as an expert witness, and I assured you, you really need that on your department because it put a lot of pressure. I think the board could work together with the police department and have some oversight and accountability, just like body cams could help protect the officer, in my view, also in the city.
Yeah, okay. Well, we have your contact information on the card, and, we'd certainly value your opinion when it comes to the development.
Yes, I would love to help you guys because I'd rather be a positive instead of being on the other end in the suing department. I love law enforcement and I love Brevard County. Regardless if it's in Palm Bay or Cocoa, I believe we all one big family, and we need to make sure our citizens' civil rights and they are not violated. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Reverend Dennis? Carmen? Wow.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and city councilman and other staff. Right off the top here, if I did an evaluation of Chief Cantaloupe and the Cocoa Police, I'd give them an A+ right now. But we need an update. On February the 14th, 2017, the National Action Network proposed a resolution for a Citizen Police Review Board. The mission of this board is to be an independent citizen-run oversight committee. This board will review policies, procedures, rules, and orders pertaining to the use of force and conduct toward all citizens of Cocoa, especially the mentally ill. This review board also needs subpoena power. We don't want no watered down citizen review board. It has been about 2.5 months already. I have not received any phone calls or written correspondence advising me of when this will be set up. Summer is next month. This matter is of public interest, and we need an update.
Matt, you gave the update. Okay. I know the city manager, I know they're working on it. And
Pardon?
they're working on it.
Yeah,
And at
We wait-
the speed of government,
Yes.
it's coming.
okay. But,
I think we addressed that the last time you came for an update in regards to,
no, I came the first time for a proposal. That was February. Now we need an update. Time is flying, and I haven't heard nothing from nobody.
okay, I believe that Matt just explained that there's a process going on for review of the police department,
Yes.
and it's too early to make a decision as to whether or not we're gonna have a, police review board. But we'll see what comes out of the survey when they go into the police department and figure out best practices for our department as to how we're going to be as far as, chain of command is concerned. We have a police chief, we have lieutenants, we have sergeants, et cetera. We're gonna organize our police department for best efficiency, and also we're gonna involve the process in regards to, the police review board and see what their recommendations are and industry trends. So you will get the update. He has your card.
Right.
You have the card and the number. And can we, give him an update once a month?
Okay.
For that?
Certainly.
Because just like the mayor just said, you know, government, things doesn't happen overnight. But we're attending to your concerns, we're going forward and doing what we actually need to do for better practices for this entire city. Great suggestions in regards to the police review board, and we'll see where it comes from there, or where we go from there as a council in the city.
We like the A+.
We're not ignoring.
Right, but I'm gonna say this, as the president of the National Action Network, we have, former police officers, we have attorneys and all that on our staff, you know, and,
Government.
but
cities,
this,
municipalities have time spans that they have to adhere to and how they're going to do things. So we can't dance to the beat of an outside organization for the entire community. This is a priority, yes, but we have to take things in turn, okay? We're not against what you're suggesting, and we're saying that we're gonna give you a once-a-month update until we decide exactly what's gonna happen, okay, going forward.
okay, but this is greatly needed, it's in the public, it's in the best interest of the public to set up one. And, one of my members, Mr. Randy Foster, I would like for him to be one of the members on it when we get one,
Okay, well, we hear you,
okay?
okay?
All right.
And you'll get your once-a-month update, can we assure him that he will get the call?
I already entered a calendar appointment, reoccurring every monthly.
All right,
Mayor and Council, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Mayor. Mr. Dennis, you and I did talk on the phone, and I've provided Mr. Dennis all my information. I said if he ever has an issue or anything, he had all my phone numbers to call me. So I have spoken with him right after the last meeting. Myself and Mr. Dennis did speak on the phone.
That's absolutely correct, and as of right now, I grade you as an A+.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mike Arnold?
Evening, Mr. Mayor, council, staff, nice to see you all again. Well, I'm here to kind of give you a little update on Party in the Park and our partnership with Cocoa Rotary and the city of Cocoa. We had another successful event, beautiful weather. I think Mr. Garvey had something to do with that. It was on the billboard, right, Sam? The weather we had? So, had a very successful event. We were a little short of 1,000 tickets, but the evening went off without a hitch. And I want to thank the staff, Gail and Sam and Brandon down at Leisure Services, Ed over at City Works, who helped me out in a little bit of a pinch we had. But You know, that partnership we talked about, we include the city of Cocoa on all our electronic billboards, our print ads, our radio ads. We've had the pleasure of doing Josh the Otter, which is a drowning prevention program. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but Cocoa Rotary goes into all the kindergartens in Cocoa, and we do a drowning prevention program. We've gone about our 4th or 5th year of doing that now. Jerry, I don't know if we've had the pleasure of meeting, but we've also done the gazebo in Murtharp Park, the Lee Winter Park Pavilion, and we've donated a kitchen to Crosswinds a number of years ago. But this, the thing we're here about now as a Rotary Club is the Boys and Girls Club on Dixon Boulevard. And I don't know if you've had the pleasure of touring that facility. I think most of the council has. But to date, Cocoa Rotary's raised approximately $350,000 to have that facility open and kept running, and we're very proud of that facility. I think the chief might attest to its benefits to the community, and we're looking for a little help on our fees from the event. We hope to break even at best, but that's not the biggest concern. The biggest concern is that Rotary Club gets out, does exposure, you know, showcases the city of Cocoa. It's a pleasure to have Captain Ed in our club. Proud he came here in 1985. I personally came here in 1958, was born and raised in Cocoa, so I'm not as old as you, Captain, but I've been here a little longer. But and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of this city.
You may have brought your family here.
What's that?
He may have brought your family.
He may have dropped them off
Hey,
in one of his boats.
Just trying
That
to
might
throw
be
him a-
right.
throw him a-
But we'd like the city to consider waiving the fees for the facilities.
Mike.
and- Yes, sir.
The Rotaries, I mean, let's say it, the Rotaries operated in Cocoa, what,
1926.
26?
Parish, yes, sir.
So
That's
that's
1926.
91 years.
My father became a member in 1958, so we're
Yeah.
closing in on 60 years of Arnold membership, and I'm pretty proud of that.
That's, yes, sir. Nope. Matt, you want to say something?
No, I just want to make sure he's finished. I don't know, did you have anything else?
No, sir.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to make some comments. First of all, I want to thank you for the work you're doing in the community with the Boys and Girls Club. It's certainly an asset to our community and the events you're hosting to support that. I personally have had family members attend all of your events and been very satisfied with them, very well done. And, you know, certainly at the city, we recognize putting on special events, the difficulties you can have and, you know, last-minute planning that is involved. As council may recall, dating back to the original Party in the Park, the Doobie Brothers, held in 2015, the Rotary Club, I believe it was Mr. Arnold, came to City Council at our December 9th, 2014 meeting to present an idea to City Council for their consideration to reduce those fees so they could provide a further or increased donation to the Boys and Girls Club. And City Council at that time directed staff to meet with the Cocoa Rotary Club and draft an agreement in advance of the event, of which we did draft an agreement, and that consisted of Cocoa Rotary paying for the direct costs of their event. That would include electricity, sewer, garbage, police and fire costs. Now, there's also a special event fee that would include a 10% surcharge on the tickets and any promotional event items sold. That percentage was reduced to 3%. Now, when the financials from that event were completed, the Cocoa Rotary Club then came back to City Council and offered to donate the amount that was due to the city to the Boys and Girls Club, as they had a matching partner within their organization. City Council approved that donation unanimously, and I believe it's like just over $7,000 from the city fees, and then matched from a Rotary member that went directly to the Boys and Girls Club. Last year, the Cocoa Rotary Club hosted Robert Cray at the Cocoa Village Playhouse, which they had a street closure permit, and they paid for those costs, roadblocks, and they utilized on-duty officers for that. So their fees for that event were minimal. And for this event, Grand Funk Railroad, we did not get together with them in advance. We didn't receive any communication as far as developing an agreement or payment for the direct costs for the event. Now, the financials are still being completed. I just spoke with our Leisure Services Department as far as what costs were incurred by police and fire, and we're still receiving those costs. So my recommendation to City Council would be to allow staff to get together with Cocoa Rotary with those direct costs incurred by the city, and we could come back to, we could come back to City Council with the form of an agenda item in the public and for your consideration.
Mike, is that acceptable? Okay.
Suits me.
Sounds
Suits
good.
me fine.
I make a motion that we accept the assistant city manager's recommendation. Okay, I'll second that motion.
It was an outside third party that gave me that matching donation. I don't want that misconstrued, but I appreciate that. Also like to mention Mr. Duderman. We contracted with Mr. Duderman because I couldn't do it all myself again, as I did for the Doobie Brothers. It was just too much of a monumental task, and so he was an added expense to our event. And some of the responsibilities may have gotten a little mixed up. Maybe I hoped he'd do more than I should have done more, obviously, in hindsight. But I have to say, Mr. Duderman was a pleasure to work with. I was impressed with his honesty, his promptness, his returning phone calls and everything. I have to give Mr. Duderman a lot of credit for how enjoyable it was to work with him. These things are difficult. They are not my primary business. This is not how I make a living. Actually, I think I tend to alienate some people by doing this, and it's not really good PR. So I don't really look at that, but I do look at that Boys and Girls Club on Dixon Boulevard, and I think I'm very proud of what we've been able to do. And I think that'll benefit the city for many, many years to come. So I'll be happy to get on the agenda, and I appreciate that directive.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Good, great. And we'll get a report. Thank you. That was a great event. Okay, so we're going to go to Alan Chapman. Al, how you doing?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Alan Chapman, Historic Cocoa Village Association, 600 Florida Avenue, right across the street. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, council, staff. Short message this evening. Summer Art and Craft, this weekend. Be there or be square. This is an event that is on its 25th year here in Cocoa Village. We will have something like 160 exhibitors, including a number of nonprofits who will benefit from our fantastic crowd and fantastic weather, because I know you've got that under control, Mayor Parrish. This event is sponsored by Wusthof Health Systems. Do want to mention them. They're going to be joining us for each of our events this year. There will be live entertainment. Gemini is going to be in the street at the corner of Harrison and Delanoy, and the not too loud but very nice, and a good time will be had by all. Please come and enjoy. Once again, Summer Art and Craft this weekend, 10 to 4 on Sunday and 10 to 5 on Saturday. And we will be opening the corner of Harrison and Delanoy northbound to public traffic at 6 p.m. on Saturday, and we'll keep it open overnight to just ease the traffic situation there.
That's a good idea.
Any questions?
Roy's Lemonade, which is going to be right next to.
Roy's Lemonade,
You know.
I think he's going to be here, but I'm not sure.
He's coming.
Okay.
This is 29th year.
Yeah, 29th year, yeah.
So-
He's been with us for a lot of events, and he and his wife, I think, are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary this weekend, so
Yep.
very cool.
Should be good.
Yeah.
Good way to celebrate, making lemonade.
That's right.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you there. Thanks, Al. Brad Whitmore, or I should say Ambassador Whitmore.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, staff. Brad Whitmore, Historic Cocoa Village Association. I'm going to do a little bit of a waterfront update. Things are going well, even though we haven't been out actively promoting it. I'm seeing an increase in traffic of people stopping in, coming in off the ICW, both day traffic and ICW cruisers. That's just what we're looking for. We've had a few little growing pains with our new docking ordinance. Those are being sorted out as we go. Everything's good, but the bottom line is there's a noticeable uptick in people coming and good things being said and people loving it, and that's just what we hope as we progress and improve what we have. As you know, HCVA is intending to buy some ladders to ease the dinghy landing situation. I've been working on that a little bit. I'm getting closer to finding what I think is going to be the final product and how we'll improve what we have even more. I have come across a problem that I've known existed and is going to exist, and these ladders in and of themselves won't fix, so I want to share that with you for future consideration. The problem is we don't have a good means of keeping boats from going under the docks. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a PowerPoint presentation or anything fancy with a computer and an overhead screen, but I do have pictures that I will show. So this is a picture of a boat under the dock. This boat is also under the dock with the engine under the dock, and that is not anything unusual. I'll pass these around in a minute. It's bad for the boats, and an inflatable boat obviously is at risk for getting punctured, so that's a scary thing, but it's also bad for the docks. You can see the torn up wood, the exposed hardware, missing a nut on a bolt and a nail that's pulled out and that kind of thing. So it's not good for the docks either. So what people do to counter this is they tie off on an angle. That way they keep their boats out from under the docks and burn up a whole lot of real estate accomplishing that objective. This is better than average. This is somebody tied off on an angle out beyond the other person that had tied off on an angle. You don't see anything that creative that often. So that's one way to do it, but it eats up a lot of real estate, and I hear the comment repeatedly, nowhere good to bring the dinghy in, or I can't get into the day slip because there's some dinghy in a day slip. I just heard that the other day, and when I was down there today, that was indeed the case. The way this is typically handled is to put fender boards along the existing pilings. Those keep boats from going under the dock. They give the small boats a surface to ride up against without doing damage to themselves or the dock. Doesn't require permitting. It's cost effective because you're just buying 2x10s or 2x12s and bolts to put them on. So if you would envision, this is the beginning of the walkway. What I'm suggesting is boards that would go from piling to piling along here to form a barrier to keep boats from going under like this little boat's going. Minimal cost on doing that. That same idea would wrap around out onto that first finger that goes out, which is the dinghy dock. If we get this right and it works as well as I think it's going to work, we may even be able to take back the first boat slip, which is now a dinghy slip, and turn it back into a dayboat slip. So we would go from 3 dayboat slips to 4 dayboat slips and have a superior dinghy landing for a minimal amount of cost or effort to the city to do that. And once again, HCVA is picking up about $600 worth of ladders to install to make this work. Final configuration to be determined as we work through this. Final picture, this is another boat under the dock, and it also shows a woman trying to come in off of the seawall where we envision our ladders going into a kayak, and you can appreciate the danger that there is out of this. So I will pass all these around. You're free to keep them. There you go. That's the first one. That's the second one. That's what I have. Any questions at this point?
I was talking to the county commissioner, who does a great job in District 2, Barfield. He was saying that the county has great relations with the Corps of Engineers and all the licensing folks. And I was going to tell Matt that because he was telling us telling me to have staff call the county, and he was going to help speed along the T-dock and the day docking and all that permitting.
And that would be a great idea, that once again, the FWC is responsible for some huge grants that they give out that we could qualify for water-based and land-based. Find will match those grants. There's a tremendous amount of money out there that we can move on and get if we can jump through the hoops of getting into that competitive process of getting those bids out. There's a fair amount of knowledge required to do it. If they're proficient at it, I would strongly, strongly urge us to cooperate and move in that direction. Interestingly enough, and I'll throw that out there, I was just down at Vero Beach City Marina, interviewed the dockmaster who is an expert at the funding and improvement of facilities, and he took an hour out of his day to talk to me, showed me a picture of 3 checks from Find, and I'll do a whole presentation when I put it together, but these 3 checks were pushing $1 million that Find gave them for improving, and they've got a beautiful facility down there. I'll get a whole presentation put together and show you what they did for comparative of
Somehow,
what we
though,
could have.
We need to, I mean, there's nobody involved, but we need to have a better way to submit and stay on top of it and make sure these permits
That is huge. The next,
push through, you know?
yes, and there's a whole process, and it requires some lead time, and the next deadline is in the fall, but we do have time to work towards that, and I strongly suggest that one way or another, and going through the county would be a fine way if they've got it all figured out, but we become part of that process, because in all likelihood, we could qualify for as much money as we need to do anything that we would like to do at this time.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Okay, we'll move to,
You're gonna talk on the First Amendment to the consent agenda
Yeah.
before we approve it.
we're gonna go to consent. Matt, you wanna?
Yeah, the first item on the consent agenda, Utilities Director Jack Walsh, if you want to provide just a little bit of clarification on that one?
Yes, sir. One of the attachments, it had 2 options on it. It had a purchase price and a rental price. And this agenda item is for the purchase of those Solar Bee items. There is an option if within 12 months, if we were dissatisfied with the performance of the equipment, that they could treat it as a rental, and then we would basically be refunded, the remaining balance, which would be about $50,000 of that purchase price, would be refunded to us if we return the equipment. So it is available as an option, but this agenda item is for purchase.
Right.
That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Good.
None in the public hearing,
All right, public hearing's going.
council business.
Council business, yeah, it's, Steve?
Yeah, I believe the chief is going to present this item, Mayor.
If I can get it to come up. Go figure. We're asking approval of code enforcement lien reduction agreement between the City of Cocoa, YAD Assets LLC, and Tim and Ellerit Loslater, AKA Stiffens Properties, which conditionally provides a reduction of the code enforcement liens associated with 909 School Street to $1,996.66. This is the amount of the fixed liens plus $750 for administrative costs. Also in here, the agreement that was drawn up by the city attorney went in front of the code board on April 20th of 2017. They voted unanimously to approve the agreement. And one other thing that is in the agenda item, but is different from what is in the agreement, is in the agenda item, it says they have 30 days from the decision to pay the lien amounts. In the actual agreement that was drawn up, it says no later than 10 days from the closing date, the owner shall pay the city the amount of $1,996.66.
So $750, right?
That's including the $750. That's the total.
I thought it was plus.
That was plus that.
That's the way it's written.
No, it's
It is plus $750.
750 plus, it's plus the,
Fixed liens, yeah.
fixed liens plus 750.
1996.66 plus $750.
No, it's the fixed liens
Well, they got it worded like that.
plus 750 is 1,009.
Yes, yeah,
That's the total amount.
yes.
Okay, so the total amount is how much?
$1,996.66.
Okay. Is that okay? Yeah.
Okay. I say motion to approve.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Good.
Yes, sir. This is to consider the reappointment of Mr. Bruce Gilmore as a regular member of the Board of Adjustment through May 2020.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Good. Great job, Bruce. Keep it going. All right.
And the next item is item number 17198 for consideration of the appointment of Mr. Wesley Park as a regular member of the Utilities Advisory Board through November 2019.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Congrats. Yep, good. Good. Jack?
Yes, sir. Item number 8, city business number 1, to approve amendment number 1 to task order 2017-35, change order number 1 to PO 69956 with CDM Smith Incorporated, Maitland, Florida, to cover additional expenses for MCC and conduit replacement project WS 1222, and to approve a resolution amending the FY 2017 budget. Mayor, this item and actually item number 2 are both related to the same project. It's a motor controls and electrical work at the wastewater plant. One of them is for your basic construction services that are provided and required by law for the professional engineering and assigning sealing of final documents. The second one is really it's really an enhancement of that because it's such a specialty area that we needed project manager with really a heavy electrical background that we really couldn't provide with existing staff. So we have 2 tasks with CDM Smith for support for basic services and then for really a nearly full-time project manager with an heavy electrical background. So that's kind of the background for items number 2. I'm here to answer any more questions on number 1 at this time.
No?
No, motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? Okay.
Yes, sir. Item number 2 is the approval of amendment number 1 to task order 2017-33, change order number 1 to PO 69956 with CDM to cover additional expenses to extend the construction administration services for the Sellers Water Reclamation Facility, the MCC and conduit replacement project, WS 122, and to approve a resolution amending the fiscal year budget.
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Yes, sir. Item number 3 is approval for the Utilities Department to pay for the services of the awarded contractor on the utility lines extension within the Fire Station number 3 project. That is bid B-16-08 CEOC with W&J Construction Corporation, Rockledge, Florida, to approve a resolution authorizing the city manager to approve the change orders in an amount not to exceed $34,214, which represents 10% of the contract amount, and to approve a resolution adjusting the 2017 budget by use of the water sewer contingency. This project, obviously, you're familiar with the fire station. The funding is coming from water contingency to pay for that. And we're also asking for permission to have some contingency associated with the project, with the signing of the city manager authority level, in case there's any unknowns discovered during the construction. I'm here to answer any further questions if you have any.
I'll make the motion that we approve it. Second.
Second over here. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Steve, it's your last one.
Yes, sir. This is a request to approve a resolution to implement performance measures to achieve eligibility for the community rating system. The community rating system is a voluntary program for the National Flood Insurance Program. Participating communities, the goals of the CRS are to reduce flood damages to insurable property, strengthen and support the insurance aspects of the NFIP program, and encourage a comprehensive approach to floodplain management. The CRS has been developed to provide incentives in the form of premium discounts for communities to go beyond the minimum floodplain management requirements, to develop extra measures to provide protection from flooding. Once a community applies to the appropriate FEMA region for the CRS program and its implementation is verified, FEMA then sets the CRS classification based on credit points. The classification determines the premium discount for policyholders. Discounts can range from 5% up to 45%, applied to eligible policies written in a community as recognition of floodplain management activities. And with that, turn it back over to Mayor and Council.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Great job, Steve. Okay, Jack?
Yes, sir. Under multi-year contracts, item number 5 is approve the Fifth Amendment to the purchase agreement to Water Resources Consulting Services Agreement with Water Resources Associates Incorporated, WRA, Tampa, Florida, effective April 27th, 2017 through September 30th, 2018. This is a consultant that we're using for Water Resources Consulting related to the water expansion that we've been in negotiations with. And that, because that negotiation has continued, we are continuing to request WRA services.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the Fifth Amendment to purchase agreement to the Water Resources Consulting Service, April 27th, 2017 through September 30th, 2018.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, anybody from the advisory board or a committee that's in the audience like to speak? Okay, we'll start. City administration. Ed?
No report, sir.
Oh,
No report.
nope, good. Chief?
Just want to remind everybody, this Saturday from 1 to 3, we'll be in the area of Railroad, D and F Streets and G Street, Diamond Square Neighborhood Outreach Event. If you're out, please stop by.
Okay,
No report, Mayor.
thank you. Steve?
No report, but I just did want to mention to everybody, since this is, in case anybody doesn't know, this is my last meeting with the city, and I'll be ending my employment here May 19th. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure working with this council, mayor, and previous members of council and mayor, and also with the city attorney's office and city manager's office and all the directors as well. It's been a pleasure working with everybody. I've learned a lot here in these past 7 years. It's been a wonderful experience for me. It's a great community. I'm going to miss it, and I'll certainly be coming back to check on some of these projects that I've been working on and see their progress. I do want to give a thanks to the department, the staff in particular. They're an awesome group, and they need your support, and I know they'll get it. And I also want to just thank you specifically to coming in acting director Nancy Bunt. She'll do a great job, and she'll take my place to sit here next to Jack and harass him for a while, and until we get a permanent director on board. So I just want to say thank you to everybody.
Steve? Yeah,
I know.
yeah, that's right.
That's it.
Steve, you've done a great job, and thanks for all the work you've done. And I remember I challenged you in my first few meetings to bring in $1 billion worth. We're well on our way of development. That's the hardest part, and there's a lot of stuff coming, and it's going to be in the hundreds of millions, maybe in the billions. But you started it, and thank you.
And I still have your present you gave me, the Corvette.
The Corvette.
I'll be taking that with me.
That's why you bought another car.
There you go.
You had it, right?
That's right.
Steve's last meeting. Don's
Don't cry.
thanking you.
Don't
He's
cry,
thanking
Don.
you for 524.
Thanks for
things
524 and all the development you've done, Steve. We really appreciated everything you did for us, and
Yeah.
especially with me when answering questions that I had a million times for you. I want to thank you and wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You're gonna do great. Okay. All right, Jack?
Yes, sir, I do have some items I want to share tonight. I have a couple of things. I'm going to read some excerpts. If anybody hasn't been paying attention and they're not aware that we're sort of in a drought at this point, then I don't know where you've been living, but this is really related to that. The first thing I wanted to share was at the St. Johns River Water Management District Board meeting that happened this afternoon, started around 4. They included Brevard County in the water shortage warning order that was put out effective this afternoon from that board meeting. And what that is simply a recognition of the hydrological trends that have been going on, the below-average rainfall that has occurred across the entire district. So now they've basically opened it up to every county within the St. John's District, which includes Brevard. I actually had the one from just a week or two ago that was effective from March board meeting, which did not include us, but I was going to go ahead and remind folks, even though weren't effectively in that yet, that we are in a drought, that we should be conserving water and thinking about that. Right now, the hydrologic conditions have not yet reached the point where there is insufficient volume of water to meet anticipated needs and protect the water resources. Currently, conditions warrant heightened water conservation awareness in all areas within the district. That's really the message that they want to get out there. There is a link, of course, on the cocofl.org/conservation tab, and that'll give you more information about conservation. You can also go to the St. John's River Water Management District.com. Water restrictions would be the / you could go to. That'll also give you, what that really talks about is understanding and recognizing the water restrictions, which is twice a week. And then it's related to whether you have an odd address or an even address ending. And that tells you what days you should be watering, either Sundays and Thursdays or Wednesdays and Saturdays. So we'd like folks to kind of reawaken if they haven't paid attention. Another good thing that you should do is, because of all the power outages, power failures, power surges, go out and check your timer. You know, see what day it's actually set to and what the actual time setting is and when it's supposed to be going off. And make sure it's not going off during the hot day times. We want it going off in the evenings, you know, after hours, so when it's cooler, it has more of a chance to absorb, as opposed to be blowing it out into the air and absorbed into the heat. So that's one item. Also, we posted that stuff on the news connection that's online, so it's that same letter, so folks can see that. We're also sending out in this cycle's bills a little notification. It's going to say, do you use potable water for watering? Do you know your watering days? Odd number addresses or no addresses can water on Wednesdays and Saturdays if needed. Even number addresses can water on Thursdays and Sundays if needed. www.cocofl.org/conservation for more information. So that's going out onto all of the bills this cycle.
Okay.
So anyway, that's just kind of a summary. Folks, you know, try to pay attention. If you're using potable water for irrigation, that's kind of the low-hanging fruit, and that's what this is all directed at. So right now, our demands are up. Our sources are certainly becoming strained because the reservoirs are getting lower. And if you look around at your lakes and ponds and things, they'll tell you the same story.
Very low.
They're very low. They're feet and feet down, and that's the same effect across the water sources for surface water as well as for groundwater. Groundwater gets affected because there are some areas that recharge and bring that right back. So certainly groundwaters can be affected as well. So that's all I have tonight. Oh, and I do have one further item. If you didn't see the brand-new fence going up at the base of the tank,
I was going to ask you that.
it's happening. They started this week. So the first of the section right along Peachtree is already up.
Wow.
So they'll probably be done in a couple of days. So
Great.
that's all, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.
No report.
Okay. Carrie, you want to say anything?
I have no report.
You're good. That's good.
Anthony?
Super Attorney? Great job. All right. Assistant City Manager?
Just a quick report. Just want to let everyone know, maybe some of those that have attempted to contact me the last couple of weeks. I was out on some personal matters, but I am getting through the emails, phone calls, and following up very soon with you. And I did just want to say, you know, with this being Steve's last meeting, I do want to mention, you know, his contributions to the city and his contributions to the leadership team here at the city. Very valuable member of the team, in particular working with him on the strategic plan and really coming up with ideas on how we're going to move this community forward. And Steve certainly being committed to that, did an excellent job. And, you know, like you said, he's going to come back and see some of these projects that, you know, he's been involved with over the years, and looking to see the fruition of those. And, you know, we'll have him to thank years from now when we see those projects and our residents are benefiting from those services and homes that are in our city. So with that, I want to thank Steve for his service, and we'll miss him and appreciate everything he's done for us. And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Whipple?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Belden, I want to thank you too for your service over the years. You've done an excellent job. I appreciate you, and the things that I've spoken with you about over the years, they normally get done, or you pay some attention to what I'm asking to be done. So thank you for all that you do, and I wish you the best in your new endeavors, and hopefully you'll be able to come back to see what you started here in a few years. And I think your replacement is going to do a fine job, so you're going to be leaving us in good hands. Also, I'd like to ask Jack, did we get that problem straightened out the other night on those two businesses that were out of service?
Rosa L. and US 1 there?
Yes, sir.
We have a temporary solution in place right now, sir. We are working on a permanent solution.
Okay.
I was basically acting city manager. Tammy Giamatti was able to declare an emergency condition so that we could acquire temporary bathrooms, basically, for two businesses, which were put in place and are still in
Okay.
place today. We have met with the contractor at least twice in the last 3 days, Friday, I think yesterday and today.
Yes, when Tammy called me, and when she mentioned your name as well as Mr. Weedgriff's name, I knew that it was in good hands.
Yes, sir.
So I went back to sleep.
Yes, sir. I think the customers, the business customers who've been affected are very, very happy and very satisfied with the rapid response that we had.
Yes,
That
yes.
same day, we were able to get that stuff set up. And that was no easy task because it was Cinco de Mayo and there weren't a lot of resources
Right.
that were available. They were already spoken for. So we had to do a little horse trading and bargaining, but we were able to take care of the customers. And now it's really up to Public Works and Utilities to kind of work out with the contractor how we're going to basically replace the impacted sewer that was essentially filled up with concrete by accident, as far as we know.
Yes,
And-
that is why our employees are so valuable to the city. We serve the community, the citizens, and usually, the day goes 24 hours, and we have someone available to take care of the needs of the citizens on a 24-hour basis. So the constituents out there know that we are on the job.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you and Mr. Weedgriff for the job that you've done and taking care of the customers.
Yes, sir.
Also, I see Mrs. Michener in the audience tonight. Mrs. Michener is one of the officers for the NAACP, and there's going to be an event. Ms. Michener, would you please stand? And if you'll enlighten us, even though we've bought a table to attend that event, can you give us the date of that event? If you will come forward and do that, I would appreciate it. And she's also an employee of Brevard County. I knew the mayor would
Put
get.
your knives up.
Hey, we like you.
You like me? Okay, thank you.
Give your name and address.
My name is Victoria Michener. My address is 3633 Middleburg Lane, Rockledge.
Rockledge,
Oh.
yeah, South Cocoa.
South Cocoa.
Just bad
It's okay.
business today, right?
Yes.
We are hosting, the NAACP is hosting the 2017 Black Business Expo here in Cocoa at the Civic Center, the same weekend as the Arts Expo.
Yes.
Okay. And that will be from 12 to 4, and it's open to the public, and I'd love to see some of you all come through and just check out some of our local business.
I'm coming.
What date is that? What date is it?
This Saturday.
This Saturday coming?
We rented out the ballroom,
Yeah.
and then I think the economic development staff will be here from City of Cocoa there.
Yes.
So
Well, we appreciate you bringing the business to the city of Cocoa down at the Civic Center. Sometimes there are things that happens in our community that can happen within our city of Cocoa that we go other places to do.
right.
And I'd like to see us promote the Civic Center for events such as you're having.
Absolutely.
So thank you for coming here. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay?
No, it'd be-
Mr. Mayor, that's all that I have.
Certainly.
Mhm.
Thanks for coming. Great. Jerry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to say goodbye to Steve as well and thank him for all his guidance and support since I've been on the council. I've always been able to pick up the phone or email him, and he's answered questions that I've had numerous times, and I think that I'm really sorry to see him go. He's a valuable asset, but I know he's on to bigger and better things, so thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
And I hope all the best for you.
Thank you.
I also want to mention that what Jack was talking about with the drought, the water shortage, because we all know we haven't had a lot of rain. So we do have a countywide burn ban in effect, and I just want to emphasize how important that is in all our communities. Even such a little thing as throwing a cigarette butt out the window, which I see that, and nothing against smokers, but that really infuriates me when I see that, because I just envision that starting a fire somewhere, not to mention the fact that it's really bad for the environment. So I think as, residents, we all need to do our part. And, if you see somebody in your neighborhood or in your area that is doing something that they really shouldn't be doing this time of year with the drought situation, be a good neighbor and ask them not to do that, and if they don't listen, I guess you have to take it to the next step, but hopefully they'll comply. And one other thing I just want to mention is I have been communicating with our new code enforcement manager, Dennis Bunt, and I want to congratulate him and just commend him on a job well done. He has been so proactive. That's another person that's in our city staff that I pick up the phone. He calls me back immediately if I have a concern. He answers his emails. Every area of the city has issues. We all see them day to day, and District 4 is no exception. We have a few pockets that I have a lot of concern with, and Dennis is working, and doing all that he feels is necessary and taking all the legal steps, of course, as well. So I want to commend him on that and thank him for doing a job well done. And I'm really excited the fact that we do have a new code enforcement manager, and that department will be ran efficiently, and I think hopefully, and he and I, spoke about this, so I'm not speaking out of turn, but he's got an aggressive agenda, and I told him he has my full support, so if there's anything I can ever do to help him, I'd be happy to do so. But, we're all citizens of the city. If you're out there, you're walking your dog, or you're just taking a walk in the park, or you're visiting with neighbors, and, if we all just do our part and, see garbage, pick it up, take care of your properties, maintain your lawns, just the simple things. We could really make some strong and large improvements to the city overall. And it takes all of us, so we can't just expect one area of the city to look great and we forget about the rest of the areas, because Cocoa is, our home, and we take pride in our homes, we take pride in our city, and for me personally, it's just pride in my community. So I would encourage all of us, to do our part. If someone sees you doing it, chances are they're going to pick up and do the same things that they see you doing, It has a snowball effect. If we care enough about our communities to make the effort, then, and we show our neighbors that we care, hopefully that's something that each of us can pass on, And also, I just want to mention that I will be traveling to Tampa to attend the Institute of Elected Municipal Officials. This will be my first class. I'll be leaving on the June 2nd through the 4th. So I will be out of the area during that time. But I will have my phone on me, and anyone can call me or reach me by email. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, great report. I'm sure Brenda Warner's watching. Brenda, we miss you tonight. we're gonna grant Don your time to speak.
I don't have much to say. Just want to say I attended the swearing of two new officers at the police department. I think that was Monday, wasn't it? Last Monday, this Monday? Last Monday. A good turnout, two young men, be very good. They're Cocoa residents, right? Well, that's what it said in the paper anyhow. Well, anyhow, so we welcome them aboard and on behalf of the city, and I think they'll be fine officers. And Steve, again, thank you very much for all you did for us. We're gonna miss you, and best of luck in the future. That's all I have. Sorry, Brenda, I can't talk as long as you.
She's watching us. Yeah, again, Steve, you did the hard part. Thanks a lot. We owe you, so.
Thank you.
I went to the Rotary concert, Grand Funk Railroad and the other bands the other night, and that was pretty fun. The band members were older than me, you know, so that's pretty, but they were good. They were very good. Looking forward to Memorial Day coming up for the city, end of the month, and see the, Matt, do you have any of the legislature, any of the session news or anything?
It has concluded, but I'll leave the review to our manager, John Tkanich, as well as our lobbyist, Jerry Sansom.
Okay, good. We got a lot of planning after that. And Ed, the stormwater site, you know, the old ice house site that you and I looked at that day?
Yes, sir.
When is that gonna be done, do you know?
Where does that?
They're gonna be completed. Any idea?
The wall's complete, and they'll be grading it out. All the concrete is pretty much done, so they'll be done within a month.
Yeah. I mean, we looked at it, and it's, what is it, Factory Street in Florida?
Factory
The
in
new
Florida down to John
beautiful
Deere.
road. You got that's where the old ice plant was, and it sort of looks like the old ice plant with the wall in there and all that.
Yeah, we left a little bit of the old wall that we found as
Yeah.
old original boards that they used to form it up probably 80 or 100 years ago, so.
Yeah. That's cool. So, okay, well, that's coming. Adds a lot of character, you know, to the area, so.
Yeah, there was another old thing we wanted to leave, but it was just in the way, some old steel pipe, but couldn't figure out a way to use it, so.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Florida Avenue looks great, and they're still tweaking it, which is good. 524, Matt, you know anything that's going on at the old Winn-Dixie? Have you had any meetings or anything?
Last I heard, they closed on the property prior to the first of the year, I believe, but I don't know that we've seen anything.
Steve, they haven't been here with any kind of plan?
No, we haven't had any contact with them recently, so I think they're just kind of, I know they've got a couple of anchors in mind that they can't divulge at this point.
Right.
And I think they're waiting on the timing for when they can come in. So they're just kind of sitting, kind of holding steady at the moment. But things will be happening there in the future, in the near future.
Well, I know they pay money for it, so I didn't
Yeah,
know.
but they have some specific retailers in mind to move in. It's just a matter of timing of when they can get in there.
Right. Don?
I've been approached 3 times this week, and then somebody was saying about Hobby Lobby moving in there. 3 times from different people once at Publix, and then at the gas station, and then I got a phone call at home.
I've
Said
heard
Hobby Lobby's coming in.
I've heard different retailers. They've been mentioned. Others have been mentioned, but nothing that I know of is definite at this time. But
Right. What about like a Chick-fil-A?
Coming down by
we can hope.
Or, what was the other one? Golden Corral, that's Don's.
I'm talking high end
Mine
now.
too, though.
I'm talking high end now.
And wouldn't that be something, hey, let's go to Cocoa and eat instead of East Cocoa, you know, Marathon.
Well, they'll have a Cinnabon in the Flying J.
Yep.
You can start there.
Wendy's.
Yeah, we really need it.
Okay, good. That's good. So it's moving. We'll probably get some information on that. Everybody's asking us, you know. So, all right. And on, what else we got going? 520. Anything new on 520 coming up? We know the Wawa's getting ready for construction, right?
Yeah, Wawa's getting ready. I know the stormwater pond's almost done, and so Wawa will be taking over. I know they were out there doing a site visit recently, and I know they want to be open before the end of the year. That's their goal, that's their target, so they will be, once they get moving on it. It'll go up quickly, kind of like the Flying J is. I mean, once they get moving on it, the thing goes up very fast, so.
Yeah, somebody said the other day, I don't think they're gonna build it. I said, no, they're building it, you know. And I'm sorry, Rockledge, we're getting a Wawa. That's what we wanna hear. Please, okay. We'll talk Saturday. Always about what?
Forgot to congratulate Matt on being a new father.
No, we're getting around to that. We'll do it now. Matt,
He was gone
congratulations.
for 2 weeks, but he never really gave us the reason why. Congratulations on being a new father. Little boy, right?
Little boy.
Little Matt?
He's
That's
he's a
right.
cutie. Yeah.
That's great, that's great.
He's got a beautiful photo of him in his office. He's adorable.
Haven't been up there yet.
Yeah.
Time he sees me coming, I'll
Oh, that's fine. Okay, and then the, Matt, on the trailer park over here, getting some questions about that. You know, I know we got a master planner, where we have a company looking at it for feasibility, so, right?
Steve, can you provide an update on that with the,
Well, I know there was some discussion about doing some master planning for it, and I think that we're also want to look at expediting that a little bit and moving forward maybe, and so we can either do the master plan and do a market or a study for the property, or we've also discussed, I know you would like to accelerate kind of some opportunities on that property, so we can, either get moving on the market study right away, or like we're doing with the Old City Hall property, we put the RFP out there to kind of see what kind of interest we have, and there's definitely some interest in that property, so something similar could be done possibly with that trailer park property, and put an RFP out and see what kind of interest we get in developing that property, and what kind of ideas come before the city to see, what some developers might want to do with it, so. The longer process is to, go forward with the market study and determine what we can do with it. But there are benefits to, putting it out there right now and kind of seeing what kind of interest we get in developing that property. So I think that's kind of what your direction kind of has been, to move forward quicker than, sooner than later on that.
We're gonna lose this curve we're on right now. We're
Right.
getting ready to go on a nice little growth curve, but it could last a year, it could last 5 years.
Right.
And so we need to move on it, that's all. It's just, all of us need to put our heads together to make sure that we do the right thing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we rode the the crash of the economy with the old City Hall site. Now, it's viable, so, okay. And also, I was talking to some friends of mine, I'll make this real short. The half-cent tax for the lagoon tax, do we have to talk to the county as COCO? And I'm not saying we have to apply for it, but I had a friend of mine that was getting information on, what was it, on the cleanup of the lagoon, and the county was telling him that, well, Rockledge and, everybody's like signed up for the program, but we're not signed up for some program. And it's for like maybe septic tanks maybe or something. But
with the lagoon tax, when they proposed that program,
I mean, they're still putting it all together, but apparently the city's not.
they have created a plan with a number of projects that were prioritized based on nitrate, phosphate levels that would either percolate into the lagoon, and some of those did include septic conversions, specifically within COCO. I know we would benefit from the septic conversions north on Indian River Drive due to the proximity to the Indian River Lagoon, and then also some of the dredging that would occur out in front to remove the muck. And since that time period, we already had some projects in play for this year that would benefit the lagoon as far as reducing the nutrients that would run off into the lagoon, and that includes that stormwater pond that you're just talking with Ed about,
Right.
as well as a baffle box, I believe, down there off of
Brevard.
Church,
It's a church?
Church Street, at the end of Church Street.
Church in Delanoy, right?
Yes, yep. And so those two projects, we received some funding this year from the half-cent discretionary sales tax, and those projects are moving forward right now, so.
Right. Okay, let me ask you this. That's good. So you know about a schedule they're coming up with, right? I personally want to know when they're going to start dredging for muck in, Cocoa, Merritt Island, Rockledge, because, there's no conspiracy here at all, but I can tell you, they dredged out the canals at Cocoa Beach, and then down to Eau Gallie and the Melbourne Inlet, and the experts are telling us, the Freeze and those guys are telling me that Cocoa, Rockledge, Merritt Island has the most muck anywhere. Okay, no wonder we're suffering. It's kind of strange. You can see the river is actually getting a little better, healthier. But we need to complain in the aspect of getting the dredgers up here. You know what I mean? We need to have them come to this area and give us some relief. I remember we used to sit in meetings. We'd talk about it, and you go up to a point where you didn't know what you were talking about. But I know the muck traditionally is kills the grass, which gets rid of the fish, and on and so on and so on. But long story short is we need to complain and get the dredgers up here and at least give it a once over. Give us some relief. I know we'll get it. I know we'll get on the schedule. I just don't want to be in the 5 or 7 years from now schedule. I want to be in the year or so. So,
Okay. I can inquire with the Brevard County Natural Resources Division.
Okay.
They're overseeing that large project, so.
Yeah. If
I'll
we
find out
recall,
what the schedule is.
remember the fish kill a year and a half ago at Cocoa Beach? It's like the first time they ever heard of it. We've had 25 of them, and we just need to, all of us need to, the communities here need to get together and make sure we're getting taken care of, So, okay, good, thank you, good. Again, Matt, just to say this to Eric, our strategic plan, it's been a few years now. We may want to all of us get a copy of it, look at it, and see if we can, some things, milestones we've hit, and may want to think about next year, reconvening and sharpening it up.
Yeah, certainly,
You know
part
what I mean?
of that process is coming back, reviewing what we've done, what we've accomplished, and maybe changes that have occurred in the community or organization that we could look at to make some improvements. So
Okay.
that's certainly on our radar.
And, again, I'll close out with, the city's growing, it's doing great, but our capital goals, the Jolie Smith, the public-private parking structure, okay, for the downtown, and the public-private structure for the Civic Center. Those things we need to incorporate while the economy's good,
Yeah,
and we need to all, this is the only time we can talk about it. We're under
right.
the sunshine law, so we can't even, so let me look over to Don, say, Don, support this. Hey, Jerry, Mr. Whipple, support this, and let's put the seed money in this year to get these projects up and going. When we're gone, I'm telling you, it will pay dividends, because the tax base is growing. People are moving in like mad. They're coming here at Cocoa. People are investing in Cocoa, and this is a winner. It's a winner all the way through, and these projects will be the last big public stuff that the future councils won't have to worry about. They'll just worry about the little things, and we can do it. Let's do it and get it moving. Okay? So, all right. That's it for me. Matt? Good? Anybody else want to say anything? Anybody?
I forgot to mention,
Go ahead.
Friday the 19th is Cocoa High School's graduation, for any members of the audience who didn't know that.
That's right. Yeah,
So-
that's right.
Big event coming up. Congratulations to all the graduates, and I believe there's several of us that are going to be in attendance.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah.
Okay,
George, okay. Okay.
that's it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
That's it.